taser, you know? Scratched me in my face.
Do you need medical?
No.
Why is she scratching your face? What happened?
I was trying to de-escalate and get her out.
Okay.
Because she was getting very confrontational.
Was anything physical?
No, the only thing that I did was smack his hand.
She was just like very insulting.
I smacked his little hand and he called the police.
Tonight's police body cam footage gives us an inside look at law enforcement in action. A routine call about a disturbance at a hotel that quickly escalates into a full-scale arrest. These body cam recordings capture everything as officers attempt to de-escalate, give clear instructions, and maintain control of the situation. This case serves as a prime example of how a simple request, being asked to leave private property, can spiral into trespassing charges, resisting with violence, and battery on a law enforcement officer. It's a cautionary tale about decision-making, police authority, and the importance of knowing how to handle police encounters. But beyond just watching an arrest unfold, this police body cam analysis will break down the legal side of trespassing and resisting arrest, how law enforcement handles de-escalation, and when they resort to force, the psychology behind defiance in police encounters, what you should do when dealing with law enforcement to avoid arrest. This body cam breakdown isn't just about one woman's arrest. It's a learning opportunity.
She went from zero to crazy real fast.
Is this lady allowed to go back to her room?
She can get herself, yes.
She's not allowed to stay?
Unfortunately, she has to leave with. Y'all always want me to leave like I'm the problem. Just go.
Well,
Please.
no, we gotta wait for you to pick
Just
up
go
your
right
stuff.
here.
This police encounter started when officers were dispatched to a hotel disturbance. Hotel staff had reported a guest causing problems, refusing to leave, and becoming aggressive towards employees. Law enforcement officers are trained to handle situations like these carefully because disturbances in public places can be unpredictable. Alcohol, emotions, or past trauma can all influence how someone reacts to a police presence. When the police officers arrived, they first did what good law enforcement officers always do: assess the situation before taking action. They listened to both sides of the story. The complainant, likely a hotel employee, explained that the woman had been verbally aggressive, refused to leave, and escalated tensions inside the lobby. The officers then approached the woman, giving her a chance to explain herself. At this point, the body camera footage shows a critical decision-making moment. This woman had a choice. Number one, calmly state her case and comply with trespassing laws. Or number two, refuse to cooperate and escalate that. Or number two, refuse to cooperate, escalating the encounter. Instead of de-escalating, the situation quickly turned confrontational.
You're 2 seconds away from going to jail. Grab your stuff because you're refusing to leave.
Come help me then.
No, I'm not.
No.
Come on. Come on.
We're not gonna help you.
All I'm asking you to do is grab your stuff and leave. Grab your stuff.
Baby, I'm not no gun. I gotta change out the dress. You want the show?
Grab your stuff.
Yeah, I am.
Because you're trespassed from here.
I'm trespassed?
Yes.
You touch your stuff, I'm gonna sue you. Touch something again. Don't touch the button. Don't touch that button.
One key aspect of this law enforcement body cam footage is how trespassing laws work. Many people assume that if they pay for a room, they have the right to stay. But legally, a business, whether it's a hotel, a store, or a restaurant, can refuse service and require someone to leave at any time. If you are asked to leave a private property and you refused, you are trespassing. If law enforcement tells you to leave and you don't, it becomes criminal trespassing. If you resist law enforcement's attempt to remove you, it becomes resisting arrest. The officer's body camera footage clearly shows multiple warnings. The woman was told several times that she was being trespassed and needed to leave. Instead of just walking away, she dug her heels in, refusing to leave and arguing with law enforcement. At this stage, officers still had the option to simply escort her away, but what happens next sealed her fate.
I cannot take the cart off of property.
No, but you can take your stuff there.
Do your job then.
No, it's your job to do that.
Take your time.
If you refuse to leave, you're going to go to jail.
So my room is $157 a day, and you don't make that. Push the cart. I don't want to go to jail.
No,
You're going to jail. Stay. Don't fight. Don't fight.
You didn't have time to do what you needed to do.
You're refusing to leave property. You're under arrest.
The police body cam footage shows how quickly things escalated. The woman refused to acknowledge that she was being trespassed. She ignored multiple orders to leave, and she began physically resisting when officers moved to detain her. This is a critical moment in any police encounter. Law enforcement officers are trained to de-escalate when possible, but when a suspect refuses to comply, force becomes necessary. At first, the officers used verbal commands, but once she became physically resistant, law enforcement had no choice but to take her into custody with force. And the legal breakdown of resisting arrest is: resisting arrest without violence is refusing to comply but not attacking officers. And resisting arrest with violence is physically fighting back, making it a more serious crime. And another one is battery on a law enforcement officer, is when someone is striking an officer during an arrest, leading to felony charges. In this case, she was charged with resisting with violence and battery on a police officer, serious offenses that carry heavy consequences. What happens after the arrest? After law enforcement successfully detained her, she was charged with trespassing. She refused to leave private property when asked, and resisting arrest with violence. She physically fought back, and battery on a law enforcement officer. She struck officers during the arrest. These charges can lead to fines and court fees, jail time depending on prior offenses, probation or community service, permanent criminal like a permanent criminal record affecting future opportunities. This is why knowing how to interact with police is crucial. Lessons from the body camera footage. This police body cam video teaches several key lessons. Number 1, comply now, fight in court later. The streets aren't the place to argue your case. If you disagree with officers, take it up in court, not during an arrest. Number 2, understanding trespassing laws matter. Just because you paid for a service doesn't mean you can stay indefinitely. If asked to leave, leave immediately. Number 3, physical resistance only makes things worse. Even if you believe you're in the right, resisting police officers will always lead to additional charges. In the conclusion, what this footage reveals about police work. This police body cam footage is a textbook example of why law enforcement officers rely on body cameras. It shows every order given, every opportunity for de-escalation, the suspect's refusal to comply leading to an arrest. This wasn't about excessive force. It was about upholding the law. When police officers respond to a call, they aren't looking for trouble. Their goal is to keep the peace, ensure safety, and enforce the law fairly. But when people refuse to comply, things escalate. And once physical resistance starts, there's no turning back. Let this be a lesson in understanding police encounters, knowing your rights, and making smart decisions when dealing with law enforcement. And one thing that people should know about when dealing with law enforcement officers or in a traffic stop where police pull you over, or getting into an argument with somebody and cops arrive and they talking to you and stuff like that. The thing is, when you're dealing with law enforcement like that, it's always best to de-escalate and keep matters calm, cool, calm, and collective, right? It's never and always make sure you know your responsibilities during any type of police encounter, because those things matter for anybody. You get what I'm saying? And always know your rights. You gotta know your rights in situations that's involving police or cops or officers or law enforcement. You have got to know your rights in those type of situations in order to know what you could and can't do. Police and cops and officers, they all wear body cameras to show what happens during an arrest if it ever has to go to court. So if they ever have to go to court or for anything, if a cop had his body camera on, or if a police or law enforcement officer had their body cameras on, then they would be able to show the evidence in court of how the arrest played out. You get what I'm saying? If they had it on record at the time. And when dealing with police officers, cops, officers of the law, law enforcement, and all this kind of stuff, when dealing with those type of individuals, you have got to stay calm and be patient, because any type of situation dealing with cops, law enforcement officers, or police, it's gonna take a little time, right? So you just gotta be patient during those times and stay calm and cool, calm, and collected. As this police body camera footage comes to an end, we're left with key lessons on law enforcement procedures and the legal consequences of resisting arrest. Every interaction with cops can escalate based on decisions made in the moment, and understanding your rights while also complying with lawful orders is crucial. This case highlights the fine line between personal rights and public safety, something officers must navigate daily. Whether it's a routine stop or a high tension encounter, these moments shape how body cam footage captures the reality of policing. Stay informed, know the law, and always be aware of how your actions impact the outcome of a police encounter.